Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is November the 10th, 2021. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. 1 day closer to an all-time high, 1 hour closer to an all-time high. Oh, another day, another all-time high. Offended by selling. How couldn't you be offended by selling on this day? There are plenty of people selling now. They think that it just dropped like $3,000 or something like that. They think that 68, almost 69,000. That means it's never going to go higher than that. Oh, these 80%ers, they never learn. Be a 20%er. Hello, my elite friends. Best guest in the space coming up this Friday, this week in Bitcoin, 2 p.m. Baltimore time. Tune in. Denver Bitcoin will be back. We got a guest from Australia. We got a new guest from Bitcoin Magazine. Ask questions today. Do the super chat. We have raised, you guys paid for this show. Remember, in order for me to do a One Bitcoin show, we have to raise $100. We only need $74 more for me to do another One Bitcoin show. But this week in Bitcoin, which is Super Spreading Bitcoin 2022, that we do every week. No matter what, we do one of those every week because Bitcoin Magazine pays for those ones. Pound that like button. Oh yeah, we reached another all-time high today. I don't know what the heck it was. I told you November 10th is always a good day for me. In 2017, it was insane what was going on in cryptocurrency. Bcash was pumping, and now Bcash, never say never, but man, it is so off those all-time highs in terms of what it was worth in Bitcoin. It was worth like a 20% of a Bitcoin and over $3,000 or something like that. But I've been saying November 10th for a little while, ever since I calculated the 210,000 block theory wasn't going to exactly line up for October. I was like, well, November 10th, that's always a good day for me. People get me presents on that day and stuff. So if you want to get me a present today, send a super chat or whatever. But then I calculated exactly when we reached that all-time. I did a video on this recently, and some of you will remember the exact date I predicted in that video. 210,000 blocks from the all-time high of 2017 will be November the 14th. So we'll leave it at that. Maybe November 14th, we're going to have another. But yeah, today it was a very, very nice present from Bitcoin to get another all-time high. And now it's the weekends are panicking and everything. So yeah, thank you, Rave Elevator, Johnny NY, Johnny Midas, and again, Scott, check your PayPal messages, dude. OPSEC, Linear Trav, thank you also. You dudes rock for sending in the contributions to make this show possible. And we only need $74 for the next One Bitcoin show. I was on Thomas's World Crypto Network. That is linked to below. Also, I went on a rant, a Satoshi rant. It's linked to below, people. You cannot be an algorithm slave and rely on what YouTube serves you up, because they don't serve up my shows. Twitter, you follow me on TechBalt. They don't at sometimes serve up my tweets if you just look at your whatever your feed, the feed that they feed you. They actually feed you. It's that like 80%er. Like Twitter feeds you. Don't let them feed you. Don't let Twitter be your mommy. Okay. Go to TechBalt. I check all sorts of people's sites every day. All their Twitter sites specifically. I don't let Twitter feed me like a little baby. And I get great information, from Tone Vays and Nick Carter, all sorts of people out there, like every day or almost every day. All right. Now, so we have a poll up there too. We're going to I linked to the poll below that I sent out last night. And I have my Bitcoin donation address below goes to my Moon wallet, where I have a Lightning wallet now. For those of you who want to send me Lightning, contact me at adam@tresorhelp.com or send me a DM on Twitter, and I will give you, we can arrange the Lightning stuff real quick. It's fun. The Lightning stuff, Moon wallet, MUUN. That's a good Lightning wallet. I enjoy it. All right. I think I think we've gone through. Play this at 2x. Remember that, people. Making sure. So yeah, best guest in the space on Friday. Let me see if anybody else has. Yeah, people. So again, someone says 69,420. Yep, that's the 13-year-old's goal for. You're not the only one mentioning that. It's hilarious. We'll get there, 69,420, and then weak hands will sell there too. I mean, I don't know how anyone can sell at this point in the bull market, which corresponds very. I mean, as I was saying, 210,000 blocks ago, we were approaching the all-time high for 2017, that incredible 19,600. It was incredible then. Now we look back and we laugh our tuchluses off at it because it's, if we were under 20,000, people would be very sad. I mean, I'm sure people right now, again, it almost got to 69 today. We're under 66 right now. People are sad or something because, it's under 66. How many days has Bitcoin been over $65,000 in its history? Like 3, like 4 or something? How many days has it been over 60? This is an amazing time we're living in. We're not even a 6-digit round yet. You fiat freaks with your weak hands. So here's a guy who's a really nice guy, the Cooge, on Twitter. And he refers back to a glorious moment. If you know for certain you're going to have future cash flow, you front run. A tech ball was very loudly telling people as soon as the stimulus was announced to front run it. If another is ever announced, just buy in advance. Not only was I doing that on March 12th and 13th, when everyone was panicking in 2020, there was no announcement then that there was going to be a stimulus. I said then they're going to give us checks. The United States government is going to give us checks. Spend your check now before you. So I spent my check before I even officially knew there was going to be a check. How much the checks were going to be for? What did they add up to in America? They added up to $3,200 the government eventually gave us. I spent that $3,200 when Bitcoin was worth less than $5,000, very temporarily. Okay, so I spent a little over $10,000. $3,200 of it was from the United States government. Went into the 6.2% inflation we're expecting now. So I was not hurt at all by that 6.2% inflation. Obviously, I turned that that was not inflated away. My 3,200 because I spent it. And it now, so 32%. A third. That money is now that $10,000 I spent is worth $130,000. So, yeah, I turned that into over $40,000. The government of the United States gave me money that I turned into over $40,000. All right, so I was not. So yeah, if you know something like that is going to happen again, but even to take it even to an earlier stage, as I've said before, if some giant, God forbid, a giant disaster happens where they're going to write us a check eventually, then buy Bitcoin that day. I mean, another great thing is to take advantage of the weak hands. If something happens to the president, if something happens with China and the United States and Taiwan. Nothing, and I don't want these things to happen. I don't want Kamala Harris to become president. I'm perfectly fine with who's president right now over her. And but if these things happen, there could be extreme market reactions. So today the market acted in a logical way with Bitcoin when it was announced that 6.2% inflation we've had, which is no shock to us because we don't believe in happyflation. But even the media couldn't hide their happyflation, although there were some funny happyflation tweets that MSNBC erased. I haven't linked to that yet, but I'll link to that later. I'll talk about it in a second. But the moment the news story started coming out about 6.2% of inflation today, that's when Bitcoin jumped to its all-time high. Now again, it's corrected, as the chartist will tell you. Chart lovers, it's corrected. All right. Yeah, 16 Bitcoin make you a freaking millionaire. Pound that like button. Or less than that now? 15? I don't know. I didn't calculate, but I didn't have time before I went on the show. I got a lot going on. All right. And another thing that was pointed out to me, just over a month from now, 90% of all the Bitcoin of all time will have been mined. I mean, I didn't even realize that we're that close to 90%. So that's good for all you scarcity freaks out there, and you should be a scarcity freak, and it just shows you the United States is an extreme money printing state, and who knows how many trillions we're going to end up with in dollars. We only got 11% of the Bitcoin is yet to be created. That's it, yet to be mined. Beyond Bitcoin, I just have a bunch of stuff written down. I didn't even prepare. All I did was between the last time and now, I wrote down some ideas. I haven't even gone over the ideas for this show. The name of this show that I've called this show the One Bitcoin Show for years now. And this is just a reminder to you freaks out there who cry that, they can't afford one Bitcoin. I've been telling you your goal should be one Bitcoin since Bitcoin was like in the 4-digit freaking realm. All right. That's when the name of the show, and I've been telling people to get many a Bitcoin back when it was in the 3-digit realm. But I renamed the show. It was only in the teens it was worth back then. Because Thomas on the World Crypto, the name of this show used to be Today in Bitcoin, I believe. Today in Bitcoin. But then Thomas had a name that was similar, and I didn't want confusion, and so I named it The One. And so in the title, one BTC, one Bitcoin. Get yourself one Bitcoin, and once you get one, aim for two. And people used to laugh, only one Bitcoin, blah, blah. And the people don't laugh anymore. Geez. But it's just so funny how people ignore. In the beginning, everyone gets a big kick out of my exuberant, energetic delivery. But how many of those people didn't buy one Bitcoin and didn't learn there's a lesson. All these sayings of mine, there are lessons, and they've come in handy for a lot of people. If you had a strong hand, did that come in handy? If you had conviction, really, if you practiced your conviction, you weren't freaked out the moment it dropped below $4,000 on March the 12th of 2020. So that's just a reminder. It's just not the name of the show. It's a lifestyle, one Bitcoin. And now there are a lot of people, they can't gather up $65,000 right now and buy one Bitcoin. They can't do it. They can't gather up $1,000 to pay a freaking medical bill or anything. We talk when the rant. I had the rant, the fake Toshi rant, and Thomas got Jim Jones confused with the Heaven's Gate cult. You're talking about the Jim Jones of BSV. You got to talk about this type of stuff. I see there's a movie that's going to come out. Leonardo DiCaprio is going to play Jim Jones. Not bad. I think he can pull it off. And a reminder to everyone that's talking about Harvey Milk, I retweeted this. I have mentioned this many times on the show. They just named a naval ship after a Harvey Milk, and this is going on all this woke stuff. He was not a good dude. He was a political animal. He aligned himself with the People's Temple and Jim Jones. And he downplayed what was going on. When Jim Jones was based in San Francisco, he was doing bad things. Obviously, he did horrible things when he moved to South America and got everyone to do a mass suicide. But Harvey Milk was tied up in political power games with Jim Jones. No excuse in the world. And the United States, if you're going to name boats after people, and everyone's complaining about, Thomas Jefferson was a slaveholder, this, that, and that. We got to rip all this stuff down. You can't name a boat after someone who was really got his political power from a horrific individual. Jim Jones was the horrific individual. Harvey Milk was involved with other bad things too. He's no hero. He's no hero at all. It's sad we have to even pedestal people that we've come to, but everybody lives vicariously, and now people live vicariously through a horrible Harvey Milk. And by the way, the Jim Jones movie isn't going to go. I hope to God we don't live in a society where where he's portrayed as a good person. There's no way he was psychotic. So I assume it will portray Jim Jones as the monster that he was. I assume. God almighty, if Leonardo DiCaprio involves himself in a project that glorifies Jim Jones, that's disgraceful unto itself. But yeah, don't pedestal anyway. But I just wanted to bring up that Harvey Milk's been in the news lately, and that's a beyond Bitcoin subject matter I brought up in the past also. Live through yourselves, dude. get out of San Francisco. What a beautiful city it used to be, and it's just gone totally berserk, wacko. And I am loving Dallas, and I'm loving that I will, I'll be in Baltimore on. I get back on November 15th for my father's yahrzeit of blessed memory. This was a happy day for my father, too. November 10th was a very happy day for my father and mother. Anyway, but after I do all my praying for my father on the 15th and the 16th and visit his glorious grave, I'm going to buy a car, and I'm going to, if everything goes according to plan, I'm going to go buy a car and start driving all around the United States of America. That's the plan. I won't be going to the woke cities. I have spent plenty of time in the woke cities in my day. I'm glad I've gotten them out of the way before they've become ridiculous with their rules. New York has got ridiculous rules. San Francisco's got ridiculous rules. Maybe, and New York is not as bad as San Francisco. I don't know. I haven't been there lately. I've loved going to places like Dallas and Miami. Even Salt Lake City is a liberal city, but they're not insane there with the virus rules. They're not insane. But I mean, here in Dallas, I don't see masks. I don't see anything when I'm out. I mean, even at the Trader Joe's, not many people are wearing masks. The people that work there don't wear masks. I don't even know. I don't play. It doesn't affect me. Like, I have only been asked to put on a mask one time in Dallas. That was at the blood drive at the Red Cross. They're into mask wearing apparently, and they were totally. I mean, the organization at the Dallas Red Cross was pretty horrible. It's pretty embarrassing the situation they had going on there. Yeah. By the way, it is true when you go to give blood. One of the questions they ask you at the Red Cross is, have you been vaccinated? Now, and there's all sorts of crazy questions they ask before then, too, that they're trying to weed you out. Now, they say that's not a weed out question. I've answered no, and they've allowed me to continue. I don't know what happens when you answer yes, because I haven't been vaccinated for the virus. I mean, I've been vaccinated for everything else in life and everything. All right. Now, not everything. Your childhood vaccinations is what I mean. I mean, with the whole vaccination thing, if it was such as, let the free market decide. Would people want to get vaccinated for the mumps and the measles? Okay, they don't want to get that at all. It is bad. It is horrible. Okay, it killed many. All those other things. This thing, I mean, it's just like, it's for a lot of people, it's just like the flu. I never have gotten the flu vaccine, so I never was, or flu shot, whatever you want to call it. So of course I was never going to get this stupid thing that they want to bar you, that the government is trying to interfere in private businesses. It is so insane, so dictatorial, and it will be shot down by the Supreme Court. And it's just great that there are states that are clearly never going to go in that direction. Learn those states. I'm in one of them now. All right, going back to Bitcoin, play this at 2x. Okay, so the poll that is out there. Oh, I want to say, they keep talking about, I think on CoinGecko, they said we got to $1 trillion crypto market cap. I go by coinmarketcap.com, that site, and we haven't gotten the $3 trillion market cap for all cryptocurrency, but we're one day closer to but we're one day closer to a $5 trillion market cap, okay? That is what, I don't care, $3 trillion market cap, yeah, big whoop. What I mentioned on a recent show, we are going to get to a $5 trillion crypto market cap eventually, where Bitcoin and Ethereum make up 60% of it, where one Bitcoin is worth $100,000 and where one Ethereum is worth $10,000. Okay, do the math; it all roughly adds up. That's that's the next goalpost there. Okay, and or milepost. And here we don't move the freaking goalpost. We set a goalpost, we set a goal, we accomplish it, and then we go. Then we're happy and we figure out something else. Okay. In terms of the virus stuff, oh my God, they keep moving the freaking goalposts. All right, remember, dudes, if you want another show, we need $74 more. Keep on sending it, dude. It's a really happy day. People like to give me presents on this happy day, so send a present. And someone said Bitcoin just crossed over $1 million in 1 million rand in South Africa. Dude, Doug, God bless you in South Africa. God bless us. Well, I loved being those South Africans that I was hanging out with in 2016 and 2018, and that bought Bitcoin. They're laughing their way to all the way to the freaking bank. They understand what preservation of wealth means in freaking Africa. And unfortunately, South Africa is on the road to Zimbabwe if they ever start confiscating property on a mass scale like Zimbabwe. The rand will go down the tube. Now, I do want to give everybody some insider. I don't live in South Africa, obviously. You guys know more. But just a reminder to all the fiat freaks that think the United States dollar is going to go down, is going to, go down the hyperinflation route, all right? There are a lot of steps. I mean, there are a lot of currencies that have to go down the tube before we go down the tube. The dollar does, okay? And I've said this. I said this on Benny's show on Friday. I've said this so many times. I don't think the dollar will ever hyperinflate away. And the United States can use a lot of coercion. And by the way, coercion is the new normal from our federal government in the United States. Coercion has been normal in many governments for many years. I mean, really disgusting coercion. But now people, after the virus all over the world, it's an acceptable thing to be forced by your government to do certain things with the threat of violence, with the threat of being excluded from the monetary system and whatnot. But I'm taking a while to get to this point here. So when you travel around Southern Africa, when you go to Namibia, and I believe there's other countries too, Namibia bases the value of their currency. It pegs its currency to the rand, to the South African rand. Now, there are many countries worldwide that peg their currency to the United States dollar. So obviously, the United States dollar is much better. But to peg your currency to the South African rand, that's pretty bad. That's not good. But it just shows you how far worse other countries must be. Far worse than Namibia, okay? That just print away that. So, when we get to the point that the rand is hyperinflating, okay, but still, over that, there are many better currencies than that. So I just want to point, the rand might be horrible, but for Southern Africa, beyond South, South Africa's influence on Southern Africa is great. I mean, if South Africa disappeared, all those people in the other countries would starve. I mean, the importation of food, they can't produce their own food in Zimbabwe now or Mozambique, which are fertile areas. They import it all from South Africa, which is the hub. And so that's the logic to base your currency off of, to peg your currency to the rand. Now in Zimbabwe, they gladly, when I was there at least, when they had no currency, where they would exchange dollars, they would also, you paid for something at the supermarket, they would accept rands also. So that you inspired me a little bit to bring up the rands. And Richie Rich is from Canada. He's in the house. And there's a currency that's way better than South Africa. Nobody pegs to the Canadian dollar that I know of, at least. All right. I'm just seeing. Sell is a 4-letter dirty word. Yeah, I'm just, remember, type in BitcoinMeister. Massive, huge, big ups, says Johnny NY. Big ups to you, Johnny, and thank you for all your support. It's much appreciated, and I think everybody who views this show appreciates it, because you get us. There was just a massive drop in Bitcoin, but then it recovered. Such weak hands out there. Oh, God, it's so old news to me. That we do this every darn time, but it's laughable. It's laughable. Johnny NY and all those dudes making these shows possible. I really appreciate it. Let me get back on track. Yeah, if you have questions, type it. Do a super chat, dudes. We need some super chats. It's been a while. It's weird. A lot of you have not read between the lines on what this day is. It's unbelievable. Okay, so let's see. And I'm not going to mention it again. Now, okay. See, the Bitcoin poll that I sent out there, because I was DMing with a, where's the dude's name? I'm sorry, I forgot your name, man. You're from Phoenix. Bitcoin poll. You can, and it's linked to below. It's still going on. I want to hear what you guys think. The crypto term heavy bags, negative or positive connotation. That is the poll. So go do that. Okay. And okay, we talked about something that I might talk about on This Week in Bitcoin. And I realized this a few days ago before this article just came out in CoinDesk and people started tweeting about it. There's a guy named Dave Troy from Baltimore, and he just tweeted some ridiculous things about Bitcoin. And he's been tweeting ridiculous things about Bitcoin. And I mean, he's clearly got TDS, by the way. I know Dave Troy personally. I've hung out with him many times in the past. My screen name is Tech Balt. I was involved with technology in Baltimore, and so was Dave Troy for years. I've been at Dave Troy's house before in Bolton Hill, which was near my house in Reservoir Hill. And I mean, he was always very nice to me and was a supporter of many of my ideas. I don't know what's happened to him. Many of his tweets appear to quite fascistic now, and I have not spoken to him in years since before I bought Bitcoin. I haven't spoken to him since before 2013, I guess, or 2014. Since I moved from Baltimore, I left Baltimore at the beginning of 2014. So I just wanted to point that out. If it ever, a picture ever appears of Dave Troy and I together, if Dave Troy becomes a big villain in Bitcoin, which he's a really smart guy. He sold a business and basically retired when he was relatively young. It was an old school. It was called ToadNet. ToadNet. It was a service provider, and someone paid way too much for it and made him a multimillionaire. And but yeah, he's a smart guy. But I mean, it looks like he's really gotten involved. And this just goes to show you a really smart, high IQ guy can get, when he gets into politics way too deep, national politics. I mean, he can lose it. And the things he tried to associate Bitcoin with are the things that I said would happen. I didn't know it was going to be a person I personally knew that would become a big, he's just tying in, January 6th. He's just like the people that the mainstream media mindlessly tries to say are the worst of the worst in America, the rightist. He tries to say that the Bitcoin is a tool of this. Bitcoin is part of all that nonsense. And he actually believes it. It appears. It really appears he does. So I know Dave Troy. I know I've met his wife, and she was a very nice person. Also, very nice person. All right, just want to put that out there. That'll be a name if you're on crypto Twitter. I know Nick Carter retweeted something about Dave Troy out there. And the funny thing, it was just last week I checked up on Dave's Twitter feed. I hadn't done it before for a while. I mean, because he buys into all the mass stuff and oh my Lord, and just. And then I see, he's tweeting about Bitcoin again. And I had seen Pat, and he has a blog post that's like insane about Bitcoin. And because in the past I'd seen him tweet through the years, I had noticed his tweets through the years. I mean, we follow each other he follows me on Twitter. I believe I still follow him. I think I do. I don't know who I follow anymore because I check people's Twitter's, I don't let Twitter spoon feed it to me, okay? And like a little baby. I remember in 2009 when I first got on Twitter at an event that Dave Troy put on, I was talking to people about Twitter. And I used to, God, it was funny. And these women, I remember it was women specifically were saying, "Oh no, you got to tweet many times a day, retweet the same thing over and over so people notice you." And I don't, to this day, I don't do that. If there's something, I tweet it once and that's it. I'll never forget that. And it was at University of Baltimore. It was an event. It was a very good event, a very interesting event. Was it TEDx Baltimore? TEDx? No, it wasn't at University of Baltimore. It was in Micah. I don't know where it was. Those things they're both near each other, right near where I lived, right near where Dave lived, and I could walk to it. All right, memories, Baltimore memories. You don't need to hear that. All right, pound that like button, people. You're getting all sorts of insider information right now. Remember 6 months ago when you discussed the Bitcoin ecosystem in the future to avoid gains tax, buyers, sellers. Patrick, I mentioned again, you don't want to to avoid short-term capital gains tax, of course, you don't sell on days like this after you bought it less than a year ago. It's horrible. It's people are like, oh yeah, now it's $68,000, and I bought it back in the summer and I doubled my money. No, you don't sell now, especially because you're going to pay the short-term capital gains tax. You wait till for a year at least. There are people that don't even know that, and the traders going back and forth. It's absolutely it makes you want to vomit, my lord. Oh God! All right, so let's move on from Baltimore. You get beyond Bitcoin here. You get everything here, and you got me for 30 more minutes before I got to move on with my day. So ask these questions correctly, BitcoinMeister or Super Chat. Come on. Yom Huledet Sameach. Come on, dudes. Now, oh, Lord. Wait, what do we got here? So, what's this 80%ers here? Oh, yeah, this might be exaggerated here, but I thought it was an interesting article. Cryptocurrency gains fueling what's it say here? Cryptocurrency gains fueling labor shortages. U.S. digital assets. All right. So I didn't write down the title, but there's an article at Business Insider that that they think that there's a bunch of people out there that aren't, and there were quotes from people in the article that are trading cryptocurrency so much that they don't want to work anymore. Now that's not the main reason there's a labor shortage, but maybe it's playing some role in it. And nice that such a comfortable alternative is available out there for people to not work anymore. Now, I don't encourage people to trade, but it's better than working at freaking Target. But just buying and holding is working fine since. I mean, imagine this on March the 12th. Imagine in March of 2020, you lived through everything. You lost your job. You started receiving a government check and everything. You bought Bitcoin when I was posting it on Twitter that I spent $10,000 on 2 Bitcoin combined. You bought, one Bitcoin then. You could just easily have lived not worked since then at all. I mean, done some digital stuff here and there on the side or whatever. So that was better than trading, and I don't know how. And so you would be contributing to the labor shortage, the physical manual freaking labor shortage that's out there right now. You wouldn't have to work at Target. Now, how many people like that actually exist? So few, but there is a percentage of people out there that think they're traders now and gamblers that are contributing to the labor shortage. Labor shortage is my tuchus. I mean, I prepared for all this because I saved, and so the prices go up 6.2%. All my savings is in freaking Bitcoin, so it doesn't affect me at all. I just want to see, but I love being in this golden age now. All people, if you got a creative bone in your body, you shouldn't be doing physical labor jobs anymore. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Come up, get a job in the Bitcoin space, the cryptocurrency space, and be your own boss. Just save, collect your crypto dividends. Oh yeah, there's a new crypto dividend that's coming up by the Rhombus guys. I've got it listed here somewhere, so stay tuned. I forgot about that. I have it written down, but it's going to be an airdrop by the Rhombus guys again. And if you haven't, I didn't claim my Rhombus, by the way. I think there's only a few more days to do it. It's just that how much money would I really? How much would I get? It's worth very little. I mean, I think for people with smaller stashes, it means a little bit more. Like you guys don't understand. I mean, most of you don't understand when you have a lot of Bitcoin and you start doing weird things with it on your various storage devices. You get this heart attack feeling that you're messing something up. I just can't go through it with the Rhombus. I never could do it with the Rhombus. And probably this would also. It's just like we're talking pennies. much less than pennies on the dollar. All right. But I know a lot of people like to do that stuff. And there's some that I do like to do, but you don't get that heart attack feeling. All right. Just I'm giving you the honest truth with the rhombus. I never could do it. I'm like, this is not worth that much. All right. All right. Someone did send us something here. Let me see. Hope sent $4.99. Keep stacking, guys. Buy Bitcoin. That is awesome. I think we only need $69 now for a new show. I think a lot of guys like those numbers. Maz Flower just typed in BitcoinMeister. All right. No, Rhombus was a crypto-dividend dude, if you never heard of it. Adam, thank you for everything you do for Bitcoin. Hope, thank you for the thanks, for the message. And one thing that's funny about the name Hope that just popped into my head, and it brings back memories of a long ago November with my beautiful family. I have a fourth cousin named Hope. Yes, Adam knows. Brooke and Hope are my fourth cousins. And it was a tradition in my mother's day when she was young, through my blessed grandmother, God bless her, of blessed memory, who lived to be 97 years old. You all know that I still talk about her and miss her, of course, and think of her every day. But through that grandmother's side, my grandmother's mother, my great-grandmother, was very close with her first cousin. So my grandmother was very close with her second cousin. Thus, my mother is very close with her third cousin. And they would have Thanksgivings together back in the day, for a period of time. So in my youth, I think twice we had Thanksgiving with them. At least once. We went down to the DC suburbs, and I got to meet my fourth cousins, Brooke and Hope. And my mom still keeps in touch with her third cousin. And my grandmother kept in touch with her second cousin, and until the second cousin's dying day. Yes, my grandmother outlived her second cousin, who was younger than her. Also, my grandmother outlived everyone of her generation. It was quite unbelievable. All right, may we all have a life of 97 years. So let's keep on going here. So Thanksgiving is coming up, and it sickens me. I don't even want to talk about it. How certain families are scared to be together during Thanksgiving now, and it's horrible. It's horrible how many people have been freaked out by the mainstream media and everything, and it hits close to home. It really, really does. I'm not freaked out by it at all. I'm not at all. But 2020 Thanksgiving was that was not the warm feelings. I mean, I can remember being in the DC suburbs for that one Thanksgiving, and there were all these old Matchbox cars there, and seeing my dad and mom and all these people I didn't know from this other part of my family, and just through the years, being at my grandmother's house and being in my own house, and seeing my that I haven't experienced that. I mean, we didn't do 2020. We didn't do it, and so it just it's a totally it's not a religious holiday. It's an American holiday. And it's just a way for families to get together. And I always enjoyed it. I have great pictures of my whole family from recent ones. But there's a side note. I'm sure some of you are going through have similar thought processes. You have warm memories, family memories that have been, God willing, only put on hold because of this insanity. But it's very important to note. It's very important to note there will not be another, in this earthly form. There won't be another Thanksgiving with my grandmother. There won't be. That isn't coming back. And that's just. I mean, we didn't meet. She was still alive in 2019, so we had that. But it just so for all you people who have older people in your families and you're putting off Thanksgiving, you might end up in the same situation where people pass away, and it's just 1 year. We're just skipping 2021. That's all. And then 2022, somebody will be gone, and you probably skip 2022 also. All right, enough. Oh man. But enough family memories. Enough family. But all of you have your family traditions, and I really hope you're keeping them going. And they haven't been, many detours in the family traditions of the Meisters. All right, now, and I, of course, I just want to point out to everyone that Adam Meister is down with all his family traditions. I'm willing to do every single thing and see every single family member from one point in the country to another. Going back, I'd love to see my fourth cousins. And the funny thing is, they have kids now. There's fourth cousins, I've heard. Now, not that they were any. I don't know what their take on all this nonsense is. So my siblings' kids have fifth cousins that they could know. It would be great to do that tradition again. I would be so up for it. All right, now, okay. So we talked about Meister family traditions. That wasn't on the game plan. Labor shortages. That was. So Ethereum has got to get to $5,000 soon. By the way, it's just so baked into the cake psychologically, and so for all you fiat freaks selling Bitcoin now, if Ethereum gets to $5,000, Bitcoin keeps on following Ethereum, or Ethereum keeps going back and forth following each other, whatever way you want to interpret it. But yeah, Bitcoin will be $71,000 when Ethereum gets to 5,000. You know Ethereum's getting to 5,000. I mean, sure, it's dropped now, but it's it's 4,600 right now. That's another thing to point out. As Bitcoin was getting to its all-time high, Ethereum kept going to its Bitcoin high time. If you talk politics, you'll save dollars on Christmas. Are you talking to me? I save a lot of dollars on Christmas as I don't celebrate Christmas. Pound that like button. Hanukkah, light the menorah, spin the dreidel wall, dance the horrors, gather around the lockies to eat. I don't even remember the whole story. So yeah, talking politics. I don't know if you're talking to me, dude, but that doesn't matter anything to do with Christmas for me. Because I don't do Christmas. I usually do a show on December 25th. I just like, today's December 25th. It's just another day for me. I know a lot of people take off, but the last 1.5 years, everybody's been taking off every day. So it's really just another day for me, December 25th. Hopefully I'll be on the road driving around. Maybe I'll be in your town. All right. Let's move. And I think the last year's on December 25th was the fast of Tevet. Was the 10th of Tevet? We fast on the 10th of Tevet. Sometimes that happens on December 25th or December 24th. All right. Let's go to Happyflation. Oh, yeah. Here it is. MSNBC had a tweet. Why the inflation we're seeing now is a good thing. And they erased it. But people sent it to me, and everyone's like, Adam, Happyflation. I retweeted it. Why the inflation we're seeing now is a good thing. And they even had to erase it. It was so embarrassing. They even couldn't talk about Happyflation. Last show, when I was talking about that woman Gabby who died, who was murdered, the term I meant to say, I went on a tangent and then forgot what I was going to say. Anti-asset. If you had Gabby knowledge, that was an anti-asset you had acquired, a total waste of your time. Get real assets. What the mainstream media feeds you, this information, everyone's so intrigued in this soap opera, whether it be a political soap opera or a Gabby soap opera. You're just acquiring anti-assets that you could be feeding your mind, you personally feeding yourself, your mind, materials that would make you wealthier or that teach you how to acquire real assets like Bitcoin. So yeah, Gabby was an anti-asset, sadly. Barry Weiss has come up with University of Austin. They're teaching real knowledge. And the thread, go follow them at UAustin.org. UAustin.org. I got a link to it after the show, I guess. UAustin.org. And people, they don't get it. She and all these other people, there's many people in Austin, they own a building or rent a building or whatever. They're going to start, it's not going to be fancy. It's going to be about learning. You're not going to need a sports team, okay? You're not going to need all these administrators. You're not going to need a fancy campus. They are trimming the bureaucracy to nothing, okay? It is, I mean, they're just going back to the basics of learning and no bureaucracy. What a concept. What a great, but it's been abandoned. And people in the threads talking about this, these 80%ers are making fun of you, Austin, because they won't have a real campus, or they won't have administration, or they won't be accredited. Dude, who can't, if you're really learning something, if you're gaining a valuable asset, you will be able to get a job and get money. Who cares if you get a magical accreditation from freaking some University of West California or some nonsense out there, okay? Where you get to party all day, you get a beautiful campus. People have forgotten what college is. You're supposed to learn. Most people associate college, and you do have good experiences there, okay? But is it worth $30,000 for some mid to low tier experience college where you're just being fed woke nonsense? You don't get a job afterwards at all. You're in debt. No, it's not worth it at all. But so many people are bought into that, and that is fitting in. That is fitting in is overrated. They are so bought into that they're making fun of you. I mean, the irony, it's hilarious. They are making fun of University of Austin's core credentials, core principles, and it just shows how ignorant they are and how bought into the matrix they are. And they've been quote unquote educated to believe that you need all sorts of deans and provosts and a huge campus and all sorts of activities. All right, so that's going on. Go check out what they're doing over there. Ben Shapiro mentioned it. People who are smart are mentioning it and are impressed. And some people are just scared of the competition. They know that this could bankrupt a lot of these terrible colleges out there that just live off of this paradigm. If only 5% of students wake up to this type of thing, like, you know what? I'm going to go to this type of school now, University of Austin type of school. I don't care if they're not accredited. I know I've seen all these people become, flex their freaking brains, clearly become productive citizens in terms of the money they make, get real degrees, get real jobs. And maybe, I mean, I can see university. Well, anyway, they're going to lose all these other colleges that are basically based on fitting in and being cool. That some of them will have to reconfigure. They're going to have to fire some of these administrators at the very least. I'm sure these bureaucratic administrators at these major universities, there's a high percentage of them. There's a percentage of them, I'm sure, on social media are vocally laughing at University of Austin, but they're not going to have to laugh at all when they're getting some Biden bucks in. Well, it won't be Biden bucks in 8 years. Who knows what it'll be? All right. November 14th. Oh yeah. So yeah. And then we talked about the November 14th might be really fun. Oh yeah. So here it is. The Crypto-dividend, December 5th, KEYNES.com. KEYNES.com. Kings? And they want their symbol to be KYC. I don't know what it exactly does yet. They did DM me. I said I would mention it. It's a Crypto-dividend. I mean, people, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Get it. Don't buy what you get for free. Oh, and another thing. If you have a topic for a show, you can pay $100. I'll do a show based on your topic. We'll do a whole show based on your topic. It's got to be reasonable. It's got to be a reasonable one. Yeah, with 4 years ago, when Bcash was pumping, I mean, it was exactly 4 years ago. And I was in Israel, and I remember there was an Asian guy who was traveling around the world, and he stopped at the Bitcoin embassy. And this dude was bragging about how he's buying Bcash hand over fist. And there were plenty of people during it, because it was right before November 10th, 11th, and 12th. It was November 10th, 11th, and 12th. I had Simon Dixon on the show. All these, there was a lot going on. And Bcash was just pumping. And so there were people that were scared Bcash was gonna become overtake Bitcoin. It was nonsense. So all sorts of people on social media were trading their Bitcoin for Bcash. That's what was going on. And it just shows you the weak hands. I mean, how disastrous it can be 4 years later. I mean, just look at those prices. So yeah, coercion is the new normal. The Fed coins rely on a sick combination of convenience and coercion, okay? So don't get yourself into that position. But because coercion and government and finance have become so intertwined, again, I really believe that Fedcoin and money printing through Fedcoin will be able to be very successful for the United States government. Okay, they'll be like, well, if you don't use Fedcoin, you can't get into this place, or you can't. Or oh, you don't have a certain job, so you can't have. Oh, you never got that shot, so you can't have Fedcoin. Don't be in that position. There's so many normies that they're just like, yeah, I wanted to travel, so I got the shot. They don't even care about the. So there can be. I don't know of the twisted. I'm not a sociopath, so I can't come up with the ideas that these government people are going to come up with that are going to twist government coercion, Fedcoin, and inflation all together. Okay, I can't. I don't know what's in their minds. All right, I can't think what they think, but it's going to be disgusting. And it's just I'm putting this all out there right now. So there's just so many Bitcoiners are just like, yes, Fedcoin, there will be no more fiat anymore. Everyone will become a Bitcoin user. No, you don't. The incentive structures of the 80%ers, they comply. They comply. Being a freaking informant is respected among people. Okay? I mean, it's just what has been revealed over the last 2 years or 1.75 years. How can any of you out there legitimately think that the United States government or any government in the world, or major government, Western government in the world, powerful government in the world, isn't going to be able to stretch out money printing longer than you think is logical? Because most people are illogical most of the time. And most people are compliant bootlickers. And sick sociopaths love coercion. And being a 20%er, being a Bitcoiner, Bitcoin is the opposite of coercion, okay? Now, there are ways, sadly, you can, what El Salvador originally sort of announced, where everyone, was, you have to accept Bitcoin as money. You have to. That's a little coercion right there, okay? So I don't believe in any country stating you have to. There should be a separation of country, state, and currency, okay? Let the best man win. Compete, don't complain. We live in a system. Every country has an official currency. Thus, there is the coercion. There is the base level coercion. You must accept their money. You must accept Fedcoin. But Bitcoin is opt-in. So I love it. I love it. Get in. It's a way to fight. So if you're in the Bitcoin, you can live in the Bitcoin parallel economy. You don't have to worry about the coercion of the other economy, okay? And I want to remind everyone, so as long as there are countries out there that are into confiscation of wealth, that are into coercion, all right, that and coming up with scapegoats, you are at risk of losing every asset that you have, okay, including your Bitcoin at a third party. Bitcoin's underlying value will continue to be there as long as these sociopathic countries exist. And they will continue to exist because it has become worse, all right? So those of you who say that there's no intrinsic value to Bitcoin, there's no value to Bitcoin, There it is. If you know how to store that Bitcoin, you truly understand what unconfiscatable means, and the reaching into your pocket. And remember that the basics of Bitcoin. If you control your own private key, it's a push mechanism. The only way it can leave your possession is if you push it out. Everything else that's involved, well, beyond cryptocurrency, is pool mechanisms. PayPal can at any time. PayPal could pull from your Wells Fargo account. They could take money from you. I mean, the government at any time can pull. With Bitcoin, there's no way to pull from your account. All right, from your Bitcoin. You got to get permission. You got to get permission. You got to push. All right, so I talked about a lot of things there. Yeah, store your Bitcoin on a place, a private key that you control. Okay, on your Trezor, on your ledger, whatever it may be. Don't be naive. Don't think that you could end up on some January 6th list. All right, where they're like, oh, Bitcoiners are January 6ers now. We're just going to go to all these Bitcoin banks. And they're all going to get a 20% haircut until they're proven innocent, that they had nothing to do with it. I mean, the insanity that can happen in this world. And yeah, there have been bail-ins in other countries. In the United States, I'm saying there can't be hyperinflation, but you better believe there can be all sorts of bail-ins, be it through your 401k and maybe GBT City or anything. All right. The only way there's no bail-ins, the bail-in buster, is your freaking Trezor. Pound that like button. All right. So again, Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. here in Dallas, noon in Denver, 11 a.m. in Los Angeles. This week in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still living gold's dream. All right. I still can't believe, I can see why gold bugs who never got into Bitcoin are very bitter. So many years. And on the internet, especially when the internet came about, the gold bug, right around the corner, dollar's going to crash. Everyone's going to get into gold. Your gold is going to 10x. Your gold is going to 100x. You know, people, that really happened, but it happened with Bitcoin. Back in 2016, when Bitcoin was $600, there were still gold bugs. They were like, yeah, it's just a matter of time. Obama was president, and he's bringing down the whole country. And clearly, there's going to be a civil war, and this election is Obama's going to have a third term, and thus gold. Shemitah is coming, so gold is going to 100x from here, and it didn't happen at all. Nothing close to it. But Bitcoin did 100x. It lived all those gold bugs with all their sick dreams based on doom. Bitcoin 100x, it wasn't based on doom. It was based on being freaking in motion and having that underlying value that I just told you about, and allowing people uncensorable. You can transfer it from Zimbabwe to South Africa when otherwise total capital controls in Zimbabwe and so many other places. Oh yeah. 6.2% inflation. Yes, I mentioned that. AssetDash.com is a great site. Still, Bitcoin and Ethereum are ranked number 6 and number 13 ranked companies on Earth. That's just amazing. And I'm no Ethereum lover here, or I'm a Bitcoin dude. But it's just, that's how far Bitcoin has progressed. That Ethereum, if it was a company, would be the number 13 ranked company on the planet Earth by market cap. That is amazing. When you go back to 2016, when I'm talking about Bitcoin being worth 500, when I was spazzing out during the spring of 2016 as Bitcoin was rising from 500 to 600 to 700, people were like, Adam, you're so happy. You're so happy. You know why I was so? Because I was buying it hand over fist. That was when the Vinny Lingham article came out that inspired me to just go all in Bitcoin when I, basically emptied my bank account and bought all Bitcoin. The rest is history, of course. Now, and I'd already had Bitcoin before that, but I took it to another level in 2016. And since then, Since I took it to another level, Bitcoin truly lived gold's dream. Well, what a freaking awesome life. Golden freaking age, 2020s. Pound that like button. But dudes, there's still a lot of awesomeness. We're not even at the 6-digit realm now. All right. And yeah, I have been talking about, 210,000 block theory, how in October of this year, Bitcoin would have to be more than 19,600. And yeah, wow, did the theory hold true? And it ended up being November 14th, this November 14th. So we haven't gotten there yet. Bitcoin has to be above 19,600 on November 14th. I'm pretty sure it will be. All right. Now, but it's hard to calculate exactly when 210,000 blocks is going to happen. But the rough estimate is 46 months, and the really rough estimate is 4 years. I've said this many times. But yeah, 19,600 is looking great, and would be great. I mean, so many of you right now would be like, I buy one for 19,600 right now. All right, we got. Okay, I'll skip that. Okay. Yes. Okay, we talked about that. November 14th. Let me see if you have any more questions because I got to go. Oh, yeah, there are some questions there. So I guess we need $69 for the next show, the next one Bitcoin show. So we don't. Who knows when we're going to get it? You will get Beyond Bitcoin on Friday, and BTC Benny show will be posted on this channel soon. Okay, let's see what the questions are. How did that full body scan health trip go? Oh, dude, man, you haven't been paying attention at all, Bolt. You're a good guy and everything, but come on, man. Are you an algorithm slave? I mean, you only watch my shows when they get fed to you. I told you right after it happened in San Diego, they found. I mean, it saved my life basically. If I hadn't done it, I wouldn't have found out a lot about things about me that were going on. I altered my eating schedule, but they found out I had cadmium. My level of cadmium was high in my body, and I actually fixed that already. I fixed a few my iron. There was an issue with the iron that I just it's fixed now. There were some things that need to be fixed, and I really overdid it with. I mean, I am an animal in terms of how much calories I burn. I had no fat on my body. I'm so below average, I'm way on the other side of the bell curve in terms of how skinny I am. And so I've had to alter some, and the lesson learned is there are a lot of people out there that are addicted and just like, they are so into the eating meat and the, what's it called when you burn fat instead of burn ketosis and everything. It's not meant for everyone. It was not meant for me. Now fasting, fasting is good. Intermittent fasting. I was every single day. I would fast 22 hours. So I haven't done that. I mean, sometimes it ends up pretty long. I'm still. I still only have one meal a day, but it's spread out over a few hours. But my numbers have improved. Everything has improved, and so yeah, the full body scan. It was again. I didn't have it. Thank God, no brain issues or cancer or anything like that. It's called Health Nucleus in San Diego. Wealthy people go to this place. You pay a lot of money and they do all these tests, blood tests, scans, all sorts of things. Thank God I did it. That's the one thing since I became wealthy that I've really splurged on. That's the one freaking thing. And it also just reminds you how short life is, and that I have a problem in my head where, I got money in the bank. I do have some fiat in the bank. I've got to spend a little bit more. And it's a psychological thing. I become such an uber saver that I can't spend at Trader Joe's. I'm like, oh, that's too expensive. I don't want to get that. I mean, that's totally illogical now. For a guy like me to go to the supermarket and kind of be interested in something and say, it's too expensive. I'll get the peanuts instead, or I'll get this almonds instead of that almonds. It makes no sense. There's no logic in it. So even a guy if you can admit it, that's the first step. And so I like to remind her, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. My body, and I like to, I am a skinny, healthy guy that's able to run at any moment, that's able to not eat for 7 days at any moment. But things were not perfect in me at all. So, and there is not, in terms of health, there's not one clear answer that is out there. You've got to mix and match. Sometimes you've got to understand your body fully, what it reacts to. And mine was not reacting well to mostly animal, lots of fasts, lots of ketosis. I will say this. I was also vitamin D. And I said this on another show, but I'm doing this for you, Bolt, and maybe some other people are algorithm slaves and they missed this thing. I run a lot outside, all over the freaking world, okay? I was eating a lot of meat. I have cut down on the meat. I was vitamin D deficient, okay? That might have been because of the fat, everything being burnt away in my body through exercising too much, through not eating, eating in less than an hour. Every meal, again, I would have one meal a day. I would consume it in less than an hour, over 2,000 calories, over 3,000 calories probably. And I was having absorption issues, clearly, with the iron and everything like that. And then the cadmium thing was weird as anything because I was eating low tier meat. All right, low tier food. I was eating cheap meat. There was no excuse for it. And again, I cured the cadmium thing right away. But with the vitamin D, I'm saying everyone is different. I would advise everyone out there, even if you are Mr. Healthy, Mr. Wonderful, whatever, get your vitamin D tested. And if you can't afford it, just take a vitamin D pill every day. Many of you know that I don't take pills. The minute I started taking a vitamin D pill, it corrected. And in the past, I've tried to take different supplements, different things for different, and it's never been proven to me that the various things I've taken over the years have done anything. This, right away, the vitamin D thing, right away, affected the vitamin D number. The vitamin D pill is real. It is real, okay? It is totally real. And to admit to you how freaking cheap I am, the first vitamin D pill that I took, or one of the first ones that I took, ones that I found were ones that were left at my grandmother's house. She's gone. I mean, there was all this stuff. I mean, there was stuff left at grandma. I don't know. It was one that I found. I found it at wherever it was. But just telling you people that there's your health tip of the day. That everyone is different, but if you're feeling a little down and out, and I wasn't feeling, that's the other thing. You might feel freaking totally awesome. Your vitamin D can be off. And so I want to say to everyone too, that from the way I felt before San Diego to the way I feel now, where I've changed a lot of things, I still feel the same. I've gained a little bit of weight, and but my numbers, all sorts of numbers, have improved. So vitamin D pill, a lot of people have said, oh, that prevents you from getting the virus. At a very base level, it just promotes normal health and normal numbers all around. So, and that's, if the United States government has to have a Department of Health or whatever, and a Surgeon General, just say, the one thing they should do, instead of lying about everything, is like, most Americans, all Americans during the winter don't get enough vitamin D. And most Americans, even if you're freaking young and healthy or you're low vitamin D, it's good to have a normal freaking vitamin D. Fix your freaking vitamin D. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the show. And thanks, and Bolt, thank you for saying thanks. Yeah, just watch the show on a regular basis, dude. We have at least one show every week. Next one is going to be Friday. And the next one Bitcoin show, I don't know when it's going to be. I need $69 more. I know a lot of you like that. Send it over. Adam@tresorhelp.com. Adam@tresorhelp.com is my PayPal if you want to do it that way, or do a super chat. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm Adam Meister, BitcoinMeister, DisruptMeister. See you Friday here, 2 p.m. Baltimore time. See ya.